I've watched that video countless times, and it sure looks like Brittney Griner says, white girl.
Just when it seemed like the WNBA was finally starting to recognize the star who helped bring attention back to the league, we're hit with one of the most frustrating displays of double standards in recent sports history. And leading the charge? Brittney Griner, who now seems to think that the huge fan turnout for Caitlin Clark is somehow an issue that needs fixing.
Every time we play her, there's this commotion, like this loud rumbling from the stands. Turns out it's people, thousands of them, just sitting there watching on purpose. It's very disruptive. She says WNBA games used to be a chill, quiet place. You could bring your laptop and relax, maybe even get a little work done. But now it's like there's large gatherings of people watching us from the stands. Some of them are yelling crazy shit about what they're seeing, putting unfair pressure on us to score, like we're there for their entertainment. You are. The whole thing is toxic. I saw a guy with his daughter in the crowd, both of them yelling, couldn't hear what they were saying exactly, but it was either my performance or some.
But here's where things get good. Stephen A. Smith, the one guy who's been loudly defending Caitlin Clark while everyone else played the political game, has finally had enough. And when Stephen A. hits his limit, you can bet the entire sports world is about to get hit with some hard truth. The kind of truth that even a college professor would cheer for.
To be honest with you folks, the WNBA already set a precedent. It doesn't matter what Brittney Griner said. It doesn't matter what Brittney Griner said, because they've already shown us they don't need evidence, they don't need substance, they don't need any type of proof at all to launch a bogus investigation into Indiana Fever fans, so they shouldn't need any substance, any basis, any evidence to launch an investigation into any other fan, any other player, any other group. The WNBA set.
If you've been following Stephen A. Smith's take on the WNBA over the past year, you've seen it coming, a slow build-up to what can only be called an eruption of pure common sense. At this point, it's not just about basketball. It's about watching a league actively hold itself back because some players and executives can't swallow their pride and admit that one rookie has completely changed the game.
Brittney Griner was in a Russian prison. You would think that somebody who is now free, back in America on home soil, would not have too much to complain about. Especially something like this. Fans in every sport. She described the fans.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what sport you are. It doesn't matter what sport you pick. That's how fans act in every arena.
This has been brewing for months, maybe even since the day Caitlin Clark first stepped onto a WNBA court and instantly became the league's most important player. While half the league treated her like some outsider who didn't belong, Stephen A. was the one laying out the facts, so clear and undeniable, even a mathematician would have stood up and applauded.
We know this. Attendance for the entire league was up nearly 50% last year. According to data from across the timeline, and Indiana led all teams with an average attendance of 17,035. That was up 319% from the year earlier. 319%. 319%. All other teams still grew by double-digit percentages. So let's not forget that. But they didn't grow by 319%. That was Caitlin Clark, which means she's largely responsible for the overall league attendance records. Merchandise sales were also up 450% for the WNBA, according to Fanatics, and Clark was the top-selling player and is fifth among athletes across all.
We'll find out, we don't know yet, Stephen A. said when talking about Caitlin Clark's impact on WNBA ratings. But I'm going to be very, very interested to see what kind of difference she makes. And he's right. If, for some reason, the numbers drop off, then it's time for everyone to take a serious step back. It's like watching someone ignore a pot of gold while complaining they're broke. Meanwhile, Stephen's the one shouting, the gold is right there.
And this is the magnetic traction that draws viewers to the WNBA, and her absence over the next 2 weeks due to that quad strain is providing further evidence of that. Then everybody needs to accept it, stand down, and ride that wave. I'm going to be really interested in seeing how the ratings are going to look without her over the next 2 weeks. Let's make sure we come back and ask me this exact same question after she's been gone for those 2 weeks.
If you're enjoying this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Now, let's talk numbers, because it seems like some folks in the WNBA front office need both a calculator and a reality check. Games featuring Caitlin Clark this season have averaged 1.178 million viewers. Games without her? Just 394,000. That's not just a difference, it's a 199% gap. You could drive a freight train through that. To make it even clearer, Clark's games are pulling in 3 times the viewers compared to the rest. 3 times. Since she stepped into the league, she's basically become a one-woman economic boost. Need proof? The season opener between Clark's Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky brought in 2.7 million viewers on ABC, making it the most watched WNBA game ever on ESPN platforms.
And also, news just came out. Ratings are higher than it's ever been for the WNBA.
Yeah.
Congrats to Caitlin Clark. It's crazy how that works.
I mean, you know, what are you going to do? Proof's in the pudding, kind
Get a girl out of Iowa.
Exactly.
Who can pull up from the state next door.
Yeah.
And light up an entire arena, every arena.
But this is where Stephen A. Smith's frustration really starts to boil over. Instead of WNBA leadership dropping to their knees and thanking the basketball gods for the gift they were handed, we got half-hearted press releases and bland social media posts. It's like they were embarrassed by their own success, afraid to admit that one player could make this big of an impact. Stephen A. saw it all happening in real time. He's watched Caitlin Clark break viewership records, fill arenas, and pull the WNBA into the national spotlight, basically carrying the league on her back. And yet, through it all, some players and commentators acted like she hadn't earned any of the attention. No wonder he's ready to explode.
Clark. Now I've taken hits because I was calling it from day one. You got people that are resentful towards her, but it's really not about her, guys. It's about what she represents. Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happened to be black females that was doing their thing on the WNBA level. And they never got this kind of shine. This girl, the Golden Goose, comes along and she wreaks havoc. She's the Rookie of the Year. She's 4th in the league in MVP voting. 4th in the league. Her rookie